Some of you walked in here today complaining about traffic. Some of you are upset because your coffee was not hot enough. Some of you are frustrated because your boss sent you an email you did not like. But let me ask you something real simple. Do you know how many people did not wake up this morning? Do you know how many families are planning funerals right now while you are sitting here breathing, blinking, and being ungrateful? You opened your eyes today. Your lungs are filled with air without you even trying. Your heart kept beating while you were asleep. You did not do anything to earn that. That was a gift, and gifts are not supposed to be ignored. I want you to think about this for a second. Your heart beats about 100,000 times a day. 100,000 times. And you do not have to think about it. You do not have to remind yourself to keep going. You do not have to set an alarm to make sure it does its job. It just works. While you were sleeping last night, dreaming about whatever you were dreaming about, your body was working overtime to keep you alive. Your cells were regenerating. Your blood was flowing. Your organs were functioning, all without your permission or participation. That is not luck. That is not a coincidence. That is a blessing beyond measure. Some of you have been so focused on what is wrong in your life that you forgot to acknowledge what is right. You forgot that waking up is not guaranteed. You forgot that there are people in hospitals right now fighting just to see another sunrise. There are people on life support whose families are praying for one more day, one more hour, one more chance to say goodbye. And here you are with a fully functioning body, a working mind, and the freedom to go wherever you want to go. And you are complaining about minor inconveniences. That does not make any sense to me. I need you to understand something very important. The fact that you are sitting here right now, reading these words, processing these thoughts, means you are still in the game. You are still on the field. You still have a shot. There are billions of people who have lived on this earth who no longer have that opportunity. They would trade everything to have what you have right now. And what do you have? You have this moment. You have breath. You have life. And that is more valuable than any amount of money, success, or fame. So I am asking you from the bottom of my heart to stop taking your mornings for granted. Stop rolling out of bed like it is a burden. Stop looking at each day like it is just another day. Because it is not just another day. It is a gift that millions of people were not given. It is an opportunity that someone else was denied. Every single morning you wake up, you are receiving something precious, something sacred, something that cannot be bought, earned, or negotiated, life itself. And when you start to see your mornings that way, everything changes. Your attitude changes. Your energy changes. The way you treat people changes. The way you approach your work changes. You stop going through the motions and you start living with intention. You stop sleepwalking through your existence and you start walking with purpose, because you realize that this day, this very day, is not promised. It is a privilege, and privileges should never be wasted. Here is the problem with us as human beings. We get comfortable. We get used to waking up. We get used to having another chance. And when you get used to something, you stop appreciating it. You start treating your days like they are guaranteed, like you have a contract for tomorrow. But I am here to tell you that there is no contract. There is no agreement. No promise says you will be here next week, next month, or even tonight. So why are you living like you got all the time in the world? Every single morning when you open your eyes, you are being handed a blank canvas. 24 hours of pure potential. 24 hours of opportunity. 24 hours to create, to build, to love, to grow, to change, to impact. But what do most people do with that canvas? They waste it. They fill it with complaints. They fill it with excuses. They fill it with distractions. They scroll through their phones for hours. They watch television shows that add nothing to their lives. They gossip about people who are not even thinking about them. And then they wonder why their lives are not changing. Think about this for a moment. If someone gave you $86,400 every single morning and told you that whatever you did not use would be taken away at midnight, what would you do? You would spend every single dollar wisely. You would not let a penny go to waste. You would maximize every opportunity to use that money for something meaningful. Well, that is exactly what happens with time. You get 86,400 seconds every single day. And at midnight, whatever you did not use is gone forever. You cannot save it. You cannot store it. You cannot get it back. It just disappears. The saddest thing I see is people who are alive but not really living. They are breathing but not experiencing. They are existing but not thriving. They go through the same routine every single day without any passion, without any excitement, without any gratitude. They wake up, go to work, come home, watch television, go to sleep, and repeat. And they do this for years, decades, an entire lifetime. And then one day they look back and realize they never really lived at all. They just survived. And surviving is not the same as living. I refuse to let that be my story. And I am challenging you right now to refuse to let that be your story too. Every day you are given is a chance to write a new chapter. Every morning is an opportunity to start fresh. It does not matter what happened yesterday. It does not matter what mistakes you made. It does not matter how badly you failed. When that sun comes up, you get a reset. You get a do-over. You get another shot at making your life what you want it to be. But only if you recognize the gift and use it wisely. So starting today, I want you to treat every 24 hours like the treasure it is. I want you to wake up with intention. I want you to have a plan for your day. I want you to do at least one thing that moves you closer to your goals. I want you to say at least one thing that matters to someone you love. I want you to make at least one moment count. Because when you start stacking meaningful days on top of each other, you start building a meaningful life. And that is what this whole journey is about. Let me tell you something about gratitude. It is not just some feel-good word you put on a coffee mug. Gratitude is a weapon. It is a mindset. It is a way of living that separates the people who find joy from the people who stay miserable. When you wake up grateful, you cannot stay angry. When you wake up thankful, you cannot stay bitter. When you start your morning by counting your blessings instead of counting your problems, everything shifts. Your attitude shifts. Your energy shifts. The way people respond to you shifts. Gratitude changes the game. I have studied successful people for decades. I have talked to millionaires, billionaires, celebrities, athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders from all walks of life. And you know what the common thread is among all of them? It is not talent. It is not luck. It is not connections. It is gratitude. Every single successful person I have ever met has a deep sense of appreciation for what they have. They do not focus on what is missing. They focus on what is present. They do not complain about obstacles. They give thanks for opportunities. And that mindset creates a magnetic energy that attracts more success. When you are grateful, you become attractive to blessings. I know that might sound strange, but it is the truth. There is something about a grateful heart that opens doors. There is something about a thankful spirit that draws people toward you. Nobody wants to help someone who is constantly complaining. Nobody wants to bless someone who never appreciates anything. But when you show genuine gratitude, when you express authentic appreciation, people want to give you more. Opportunities want to find you. Good things want to flow into your life. Let me tell you what happens when you lack gratitude. You become blind to your blessings. You could have 1,000 things going right in your life, but you will only see the one thing going wrong. You could have people who love you deeply, but you will focus on the one person who does not. You could have a roof over your head, food in your refrigerator, clothes on your back, and money in your pocket, but you will obsess over what you do not have yet. Ingratitude is a form of blindness. It robs you of the ability to see the good that already exists in your world. I want you to try something starting tomorrow morning. Before you get out of bed, before your feet hit the floor, I want you to name 5 things you are grateful for. And I do not want you to just list them in your head. I want you to feel them. I want you to really sit with the appreciation. Think about your health and how your body carries you through each day. Think about the people who love you and how they show up for you. Think about the opportunities you have that others only dream about. Let that gratitude sink deep into your soul before you start your day. What you will notice is that your entire day will be different. You will handle stress differently. You will respond to challenges differently. You will interact with people differently. Because you started from a place of abundance instead of scarcity. You started from a place of appreciation instead of lack. You started from a place of thankfulness instead of resentment. Gratitude is not just a nice thing to do. It is a strategic way to position yourself for a better life. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. It starts as something you have to consciously do, something you have to remind yourself to feel. But over time, it becomes automatic. It becomes your default setting. It becomes the lens through which you see everything. And when gratitude becomes your natural state, you will find that happiness is no longer something you chase. It is something you carry with you everywhere you go. Some of you walk around here thinking the world owes you something. You think that because you went to school, you deserve success. You think that because you work hard, you deserve recognition. You think that because you are a good person, you deserve good things. But let me break this down for you real quick. The world does not owe you anything, not a thing. Nobody is required to give you opportunities. Nobody is required to celebrate you. Nobody is required to make your life easy. So when something good happens, when somebody helps you, when a door opens, you'd better fall on your knees and say thank you, because it did not have to happen that way. Entitlement is one of the most dangerous attitudes you can carry. It makes you ungrateful. It makes you complacent. It makes you bitter when things do not go your way. And worst of all, it blinds you to the blessings you are receiving because you feel like you deserve them anyway. When you expect everything, you appreciate nothing. When you demand everything, you celebrate nothing. When you assume everything should come to you, you miss the miracle of it actually arriving. I meet young people all the time who think success is supposed to fall from the sky. They think that because they showed up, they should be promoted. They think that because they graduated, they should be paid well. They think that because they exist, they should be given opportunities. But that is not how life works. Life does not reward entitlement. Life rewards effort. Life rewards gratitude. Life rewards humility. Life rewards people who recognize that everything they have is a gift that could be taken away at any moment. Think about the job you have right now. There were probably hundreds, maybe thousands of people who applied for that same position. But you got it. Out of all those qualified candidates, someone chose you. That is not something to take lightly. That is something to be deeply grateful for. And the same goes for your relationships, your health, your home, and your opportunities. None of it is guaranteed. None of it is owed to you. None of it is permanent. Everything you have is on loan from life. And the moment you forget that, you start to lose appreciation for it. I remember when I had nothing. And I mean nothing. I could not take anything for granted because I did not have anything to take for granted. Every meal felt like a blessing because I knew what it felt like to be hungry. Every bed felt like luxury because I knew what it felt like to sleep in my car. Every opportunity felt like a miracle because I knew what it felt like to be overlooked. Struggle has a way of teaching you gratitude that success sometimes forgets. But you should not have to lose everything to appreciate what you have. You should be able to look at your life right now, with all its imperfections, with all its challenges, with all its frustrations, and still find reasons to be thankful. You should be able to recognize that even in your struggle, you have more than many people will ever have. You should be able to understand that your problems are someone else's prayers. What you are complaining about, someone else is praying for. So I am asking you to drop the entitlement. Let go of the expectation that life should be easy or fair or kind to you. And instead, embrace gratitude for whatever comes your way. When you stop expecting things and start appreciating things, your whole experience of life transforms. You become happier with less. You become more joyful with what you have. You become more content in your current season while still working toward the next one. The human mind has a dangerous tendency to focus on lack. We are wired to notice what is missing instead of what is present. We are programmed to see the gap between where we are and where we want to be instead of appreciating how far we have already come. And this constant focus on lack creates a feeling of emptiness that no amount of success can fill. Because no matter how much you achieve, there will always be something more you do not have. If you do not learn to celebrate what you have now, you will never be satisfied. I see people every day who have more than 90% of the world population, but still feel poor. They have clean water, reliable electricity, access to health care, food whenever they want it, and technology that connects them to the entire planet. But they feel deprived because their neighbor has a nicer car. They feel inadequate because their coworker has a bigger house. They feel unsuccessful because someone their age has more followers on social media. And this comparison game robs them of the joy that is rightfully theirs. I am not saying you should not want more. I am not saying you should not have goals, dreams, and ambitions. You absolutely should. But while you are working toward more, you need to appreciate what you already have. While you are chasing your dreams, you need to recognize the blessings in your current reality. While you are climbing toward the top, you need to look around and see how far you have already climbed. Success without gratitude is hollow. Achievement without appreciation is empty. You can have everything you ever wanted and still feel like you have nothing if you do not learn to celebrate along the way. Start today. Right now, look around your life and find something to celebrate. Maybe it is your health. Maybe it is your family. Maybe it is your job. Maybe it is a friend who has been there for you. Maybe it is as simple as the roof over your head or the phone in your hand. Whatever it is, take a moment to acknowledge it. Take a moment to appreciate it. Take a moment to say thank you for it. Because the moment you start celebrating what you have, you create space for more blessings to flow into your life. The happiest people in the world are not the people who have the most. They are the people who appreciate what they have. I have met miserable millionaires and joyful janitors. I have met depressed celebrities and content construction workers. Money and status do not determine happiness. Gratitude does. Perspective does. The ability to look at your life and find reasons to smile does. And that ability is a choice you can make right now, regardless of your circumstances. Whatever you are going through right now, it is temporary. I do not care how dark it looks. I do not care how hard it feels. I do not care how long it's been going on. It is not permanent. You are just in a season. And seasons change. But while you are in that season, do not let your problems become bigger than your purpose. Do not let your struggles become bigger than your faith. Do not let your circumstances become bigger than your potential. You are greater than anything you are facing right now. You just forgot. The human mind has a way of magnifying problems. We take a small issue and blow it up until it fills our entire field of vision. We take a temporary setback and treat it like a permanent defeat. We take a single failure and let it define our entire identity. But the reality is that most of the things we worry about never even happen. And the things that do happen are rarely as catastrophic as we imagine they would be. We give our problems power they do not deserve. Think back to 5 years ago. Think about the thing that was stressing you out the most at that time. The thing that kept you up at night. The thing you thought would destroy you. Where is that problem now? Chances are you barely remember it. Chances are it resolved itself in ways you never expected. Chances are you made it through just fine. And the same will be true for whatever you are facing right now. 5 years from now, this moment will be a distant memory. This struggle will be a story you tell. This pain will be a lesson you learned. I am not minimizing your struggles. I know some of you are going through real things, serious things, things that hurt deeply and cut to the core of who you are. But I am telling you that you are stronger than you think. You have survived 100% of your worst days so far. Every single time you thought you could not make it, you did. Every single time you thought it was over, you found a way. You are still here. You are still standing.